Bryant on the bow, a dream come true. That is some moment. Aguero!
Welcome to Sport from the Bleachers. Results and opinions for the fans, by the fans. Now, before I introduce my two colleagues tonight, we've had a good week on the text chat between the three of us. The mock has struck again, and we'll run. I'll let him introduce himself in a minute. And the other one has been calling himself the Oracle all week about how good he's been tipping and what he's called. It's unbelievable that someone who hasn't done anything all in the last 13 episodes has called out two things, and he's calling himself the Oracle. Oracle and Mock, welcome.
How are you, mate?
How are you, fuckwit?
Now, just to explain myself, Scott, you've been telling everyone you tip the Dragons and you tip Para. Right?
No, didn't tip Para. I didn't, but I did tip the Dragons.
You tipped the Dragons.
And I tipped the Tigers that you blokes failed to tip on. Manly beating Canberra, down in Canberra. You blokes, you don't know what's going on, honestly.
Now, viewers, you can turn off at any point. If you don't want to keep listening or watching, just turn off because it's dead set doing our heads in. So, more than welcome. Now, Mock,
Yep.
Can you run us through just quickly the last few minutes of last week's episode? Who was winning the NBA?
So I did say that that Miami. So we had the odds, and Miami were paying $15 to win the finals. That was, and I said, look, that's probably right. Now they'll get dusted by the Celtics. They're currently leading 3-0 over the Celtics, and the next game tomorrow is in Miami. And no one in the history of NBA has come back from 3-0 down. So,
Oh, well done.
oh well, sorry, Boston, I fucked you up again.
There's owners and CEOs and coaches just saying, tell the Mock to get off our club.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I just, yeah.
We need to be smarter about this. We need to start throwing money on what you're talking about. We'd have money for days. Honest to God.
Yeah, I can't even. I don't know. I mean, you'd think I'd be having some, betting money in the background, but no.
Now, I will give the Mock something. You did tip Port, didn't you? You said Port had upset.
Yeah, I did tell Port Melbourne. Yep.
You did say they'd upset Melbourne, so that was you got on board them.
Yeah. No, look, they did well, and they're just showing that they are serious contenders now. So I think people start looking a bit more closely at them.
All right, boys, let's get into it. Let's get into the talking points of the week in the NRL. We probably don't have much to sort of cover around the round. We can get to it because it's all about Origin. But I guess the biggest surprise was Pangai Jr. for me in the New South Wales Origin team. We will touch on Queensland in a minute, but give me your thoughts.
Yeah, well, it surprised me, to be honest, the selection, but I think he might fit in all right. I think he'll rough a few feathers up, and he might actually end up being a pretty good selection, to be honest. But yeah, it did catch me by surprise.
Was Jake Turbo injured in the game?
Yeah, he's done for 6 weeks. He's going to miss the whole Origin campaign now. He's nicked his calf again. So I think he's tried, for me, I think he's come back to try and make the Origin side. He's probably come back from a calf a little too early, and it's gone again.
Oh well, he's a good fit for me. I think he's I reckon he'll do some good work.
I think between the three of us, we did call that Luai probably starts at 5'8" in our teams. I guess we all did call for Hines to be 5'8", but we said possibly Luai will start, Hines to the bench. And I guess the talk has been like what we said was Luai can probably go in at 9 to give Appy a rest if he needs it, and Hines can come on and just play wherever. So, and the other one we spoke about was Hudson Young starting and Cameron Murray on the bench. And I think he comes on and plays front row when he comes on. Cameron Murray, quick play the balls and just destroys them through the middle.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get out of him, and that's exactly what he'll do. So
I just think he's lost in the back row out there. I think he's wasted out in the back row, to be honest.
yeah, especially in the Blues side, he would be. I mean, there's a lot better options in the back row. Maybe club level a bit differently, but
well, and I also think Liam Martin can do that. I don't know if you've been watching the Penrith game, but he's been coming on. Looks to me like he's been playing front row when he's come on for his short stints, just smashing blokes and running.
I think he's the most. I reckon he's the most underrated player. Honest to God,
I don't disagree with you there.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped for it.
Boys, the back line, the same back line, 1 through 7, that just last time they played together literally destroyed Queensland. You'd be scared if you were Hammer or Valentine Holmes in the Queensland centres marking up against what Turbo put out on the weekend and just what Latrell does every week.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Latrell and Turbo, going at it. Like, that would be, it's going to be good to watch. Good to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Josh Adokar deserves his spot too. I know he's come back. He's come back early from an ankle, but I think we missed him last year with some pace.
Do you think he's thrown him in there because of that decision he made last year?
Oh, mate, look, probably, but if he's fit enough, he play. Who else is going to play? To be fair, who else do you put in there? Critter?
Yeah.
He has been playing centre, but you know what I mean? Like Adokar's an out-and-out winger.
It just, you think back to last year and how he was dropped, when to me, he didn't deserve to be dropped. And then he's come back from an injury, quite a bad injury, and he gets selected, and he hasn't been playing much at all. I thought, well, I rate him as a player, and he'll do a job there for sure. But it's just
it'll only back. I think like his experience in Origin will obviously hold some weight. I just think the only risk is that he reflares it was ankle or his
ankle,
foot?
Yeah,
ankle,
yeah.
Like whether he lands on it awkwardly or not, I don't know.
We'll counter that. I guess with Nico on the bench, it doesn't matter about what back goes down now. He covers everywhere. Nico does.
Yeah, well, I saw something about that. Like, he could go to full back, or even I don't know if you put Latrell full back if Teddy goes down.
Yeah, and he plays in the centres.
Yeah. So he's not obviously a tried centre, but he's obviously played a fair bit of full back. So yeah, they've got the backups to do a few different changes. But yeah, look, I'm pretty happy with the team, to be honest. I think, and I'm actually surprised with the Queensland side with a couple of their selections. But yeah, I don't
think Freddie and Brandy can be criticised for the team they've picked this time. Like, I think every player deserves their spot, including Frizzell. He's been outstanding for Newcastle. I don't think they can be criticised for the team they've picked.
Do you think Appy was picked solely because of the Penrith players that are in the side around him?
100%. And he's nearly come out and said that. He's basically come out and said he's Freddie come out pretty much and said, it's the combination with Cleary and Isaiah Yeo and Jerome Luai. But he tore apart the Cowboys Appy, but single-handedly nearly tore them apart.
Yeah.
And I listened to Matty Johns last night on NRL 360, and he just said he said the change in Appy and the change in Luke Brooks is he's bringing Luke Brooks onto the ball and making him run. So he's going to make Cleary run.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he just brings that. Cook can sometimes, yes, he's quick out of dummy half, but he's very one-dimensional in a way that he just trying to get through the line. Whereas Appy brings a lot of different bows, like you don't know
he's
what
an
he's
X
going to
factor.
do,
He's an X factor.
So he brings that surprise factor. But I think him versus Ben Hunt, the two hookers, that will be unreal because we know what Ben Hunt's capable of with his kicking game and stuff like that. So,
And when Harry Green comes on, Harry Green's still the best hooker in the game for me, and he's going to come off the bench.
Yeah, that's pretty damaging.
So touching on Queensland, then we've started that process. Loyalty's pretty much gone out the window. I dare say they've picked. I'll ask you this: have they picked Hamasai, Tabuai, Fido because of how bad Gagai defended last week, and Turbo and Latrell will be running at him all game?
I don't know why they've done it. I think it's a bad decision, to be honest.
Because he hasn't played a bad Origin game, has he?
Gagai?
Yeah, Gagai.
No.
He's on like two man of the series. He's played 22 straight games, and he scores pretty much. He's just behind GI as the highest Queensland try scorer. So, and
maybe he might have done something to upset the coach, mate. Who knows? Because it's pretty red. It's pretty red hot.
Like Hammer, I don't know. Is he a centre? I don't know.
Well, I know he's played all his junior. I was reading something. He's played all his junior footy there, but again, it's junior footy. You can pretty much.
It's not state of origin.
It's not state of origin. And look, the thing about he's got pure pace as well, but like Hammer, so
depends on how they play him, I suppose. If they give him that bit more freedom.
And I don't know, like you've seen that Luai's thrown a bomb today and has basically said to Cobbo if he thinks he's a grub, he's got to have a crack at him on Wednesday night. See, I like that. I think that's why Luai's picked.
Yeah.
Because Cobbo could go off the handle, mate, and be sent off. He could literally go off the handle.
Yeah, and that's what Luai's trying to do. Like just fucking start the fire,
Yeah.
Stir the pot.
So Ponga, you reckon that's fair? It's fair enough.
I think so. Well, mate, look at him on the weekend. He played the ball backwards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Billy could. If Billy,
it's hard to justify that one.
Yeah, like he probably needed another couple of games to get through without HIA for him to probably pick him. Because
who else is there?
Well, Reece Walsh's been playing out of his skin, right? I don't think you can't knock the kid for. I think he deserves his spot.
Oh, 100% he does, yeah. But it was just interesting because, we've been criticised to only be playing or pick players that are in form, and they've said that the formula is, tried and true people.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to see what they did there. But Reece Walsh does deserve it.
And I think I'm not sure Lindsay Collins and Thomas Flegler both start. I think Tino probably comes in there to have a crack at Tavita when they start.
Yeah. It's hard. Tino, he'd make a big difference coming off the bench though.
Yeah, I rate. I
10 minutes
done.
before
he's been Titans' best player.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's not hard.
All right. I know we are New South Wales through and through, but I really do like the New South Wales team, to be honest. I think if they're...
It's currently $1.65 to New South Wales, $2.25 Queensland.
Yeah, okay. Well...
It's probably fair line, I suppose, at the moment.
Well, if you look at the back line, for me, if you just look at the back line from what they did in 2021, I think it was... the viewers will be able to correct us, but I think it was 2021 they last played together. Mate, they tore it apart. Cameron Murray, Liam Martin off the bench. Nico, if we get stuck, just to start running.
That's the big one, right? Nico.
100%, yeah.
That's a massive, massive, massive X factor to have him coming in.
I know. Pardon me. I know everyone's been saying, where does he come on and play? But I think we've said it. I think Jerome just goes into hooker for a couple of 15, 20 minutes.
I think that's the only way you get him on if there's no injuries or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if there's
100%.
no injuries, I reckon you just do that anyway to give Appy a rest.
Yeah. Just
Give him-
even
give him-
10 minutes either side of half time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
New South Wales by how many? Let's get biased now. Let's get biased.
Well,
I'm happy to take.
Maybe I shouldn't speak.
No, you don't speak. No, absolutely not. So Queensland by 50, the mock.
Yeah, Queensland by 13 plus.
I'm going to say New South Wales 13 plus first game.
That's
Look,
at
I don't
Adelaide
mind
Oval
it.
as well.
I don't, young. I'm with you. I don't mind it. I think
Where's
Cleary's
game through?
playing
Yeah.
himself into form. Latrell's in form. Turbo played the best game he's played in a long time. Teddy is captain, been criticised a lot. Probably steps up. For me, Tedesco will be man of the series. There you go. I think that's the big one for me. Teddy or Cleary will be man of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair call. There's a lot of leaders in that side too.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of leaders.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I
And look at the
think-
bench. Like the bench is
Yeah.
full of it. And I think, mate, I think for me, Pangai Jr. will be hit or miss. He'll either be horrible, right, or he'll last 25 minutes and destroy them early.
Yeah, it's either that or he gets sent off or something.
Yeah, or he drops the ball every time or whatever. But I think, look what he did when he played for Penrith those few games. He never dropped the ball.
Yeah.
He pulled his head in, right, and then he got injured, but he was good for them. Well, he was good for us in that COVID year, those few games. So I think I'm with you, Young, and I reckon 13 plus, and I think Teddy scores a couple.
Yep.
Queensland by
multi.
13.
We're good at multis. Get on it.
We're real good at multis. Wow.
Hey, I was 3 out of 4 this week. Bloody hell. Fucking Edwards. Anyway, won't talk about that.
Listen to the mock having a crack. All right, boys. So let's quickly touch on last week's games. I guess I did say the Para was shit, and they've come out and dusted the Rabbitohs. I guess as a Bunnies fan, as a Para fan, JB, how do you support them?
It's fucking difficult, mate. I tell you. Like, yeah, you always leave your head, scratching your head thinking, why don't we just do that every week? Like, especially the Rabbitohs, in the past with the Rabbits, like, if they've, scored back-to-back tries or something, then they usually want to run away and then we kind of let them go. But we were just up for it, the whole 80. Like,
yeah, but why? I'd love to know why.
To be honest, I reckon it's obviously Mitch Back has helped, but I think knowing that they're right on the cusp of the season, just pulling away from, they're like, fuck, we need to play it in.
Yeah,
I don't know. If I knew the freaking answers, I'd bloody be coaching. But yeah, it is frustrating. It is frustrating, man.
It's got to be frustrating, and mate, I don't even know what to say. Like they should beat the Cowboys by 100 in that form this week.
Yeah,
Cowboys just got dusted by 60. Like,
yeah, but look, we'll probably fucking
turn up next week and
60.
Writes my own intro.
That's it.
I think Para's at home this week. They won't lose there, mate. No way.
Well, they've only lost Junior Polo, is that right? It's from what I was quickly looking through the sheet before. They've only lost Paulo.
Yeah, but we signed Joe Offengawi for the
Joe.
Tigers.
He's
playing as well.
And lose Jacob Arthur. Look, I want to touch on Jacob Arthur quickly. I think it's pretty piss poor on some of the I get it. He wasn't the best player, but he still was the reserve grade halfback. They just didn't have a better halfback in reserve grade for him to play, and I think he was treated a bit harshly by some of the fans at times. I know he's not the best player and whatever else, but it wasn't his fault as well.
No. Yeah, I feel for him, and as I said last week, it's hard for a kid, especially when your old man's the coach, but it's hard for a kid to be compared to a halfback like Mitch is. You know what I mean? It's kind of like someone trying to step in for Cleary.
Yes.
Like if that's the benchmark, you're not going to get there. Is that a failure? Is it a failure? Well, not really. It's just the benchmark's too high. And I did hear a story that, after a game a couple of weeks ago, he went back out to see the fans, and most of them were just giving it to him.
Yeah.
And some bloke asked for a signature, and he's like, "Oh, are you sure you want mine?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you could tell
That's
his confidence
that's
is shot.
disheartening. Yeah.
And look, he probably needs it, and it's good for himself to get that confidence back and not feel like you got that pressure of your old man and stuff. So
Yeah, I think it's a great move for him. Like, even if he doesn't play first grade at Manly, I think it's. Well, he's probably going to play this week. He could even play this week with with Cherry Evans and that out, right? But look, I think I think he needs it, and they probably need it as a family, right? Just to be dad and son again instead of coach and player.
Well, that's exactly what Brad come out and said that.
Did he?
He came out and said, he goes, "I'm just excited to be a dad again."
Okay, well there you go. So it's obviously playing on everyone's mind as a family and a club. But good luck to him. Look, he seems like a good bloke. He's never kicked stones. He's always fronted up. So he's got a bit about him at some point, I reckon.
Yeah.
And what's the Dragons? Before I get you to say anything, does it say more about where the Roosters are, or does it say more about the Dragons and where they're headed?
I think it's
because you can't sack the coach again this week to get up for the next week. Can't go through 26 coaches or 27 coaches.
No. I do think it's a bit of both, Hedo. I said I said it last week. If a coach gets sacked, the team gets up and they play.
Yeah. The Oracle. We're calling you the Oracle. We get it.
All right. I was right. No one jumped on it. But we'll probably get dusted by 50 this week. But but it is a bit of where Roosters are at. Roosters shouldn't be losing those games for what they've got. But they haven't been playing well. Especially didn't they get pumped the week before?
Yeah, by Penrith, yeah.
So you'd think they'll come out swinging, but Dragons stepped up. Obviously, the loss of their coach and whatever. But their interim coach, from what I'm hearing, he's quite a good fella. He used to coach Brendan back in the days, and from what Brendan's been telling me, he's really good guy. So,
well, there's
and you can see it. You can see in the games, like in that game anyway. He was you see the celebrations and banging on the glass and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
the Dragons, they've never had that with Hook. It's just. The bloke looks miserable when they're up by fucking 50 or whatever.
Well,
so.
Is he in line? And look, I don't know this, but I was listening to some stuff today that Jason Riles may not even take the job if offered.
Yeah, right.
So does that again?
The interim coach.
Well, who's going to apply for the job?
Is anyone looking at Shane Flanagan? Like, I know that his ban is gone now.
Yeah.
Like, he's a premiership coach. Like, he's not a mug.
But, mate, I think the concern is, JB, and the concern for Dragons fans, there's something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and they don't seem like they're trying to address that, are they? They just think, we've done. And especially after a win as well, they're kind of like, oh, well, must have been, that
must have been the coach. Like, for me, it's a band. Like, that seems like coming out of the club is just band-aids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does the new gaffer literally just go, yeah, I'll take it? Like, is he going to be the last one standing to take it?
We've had this in the AFL where like lower teams have gone and headhunted like a legend of a coach, so to speak, right? And generally they always come in the door and say, look, I'll take it, but I'm bringing some people in with me. And that's assistant coaches, that's
physios,
whatever it may be, that kind of thing. So they need something like that. They can't just go, yeah, all right, well, I'll just take it and then just keep marching on. So, yeah, you're right, though. It's not just the coach.
I honestly don't think it is. And look, you can see that they played to the 80th minute and they scored in the 80th minute. So we can say they're playing for their coach. Mate, he's been there 1 week. if Riles doesn't take the job, I think they need to look in their own backyard for what's going on, either at board level or somewhere along the lines.
Is Ben Hornby still interested? Do you know?
Well,
That's what I'm.
yeah, I think him and Dean Young were interviewed. Is that right? Is that what you're hearing? I think all three have been interviewed, and I think Riles was the front runner. But I think I don't know this. I was on the radio today that he looks like he may turn it down. He may not now, right? Like, it's just what's been spoken about.
Oh, well, just have to wait and see.
But the Tigers, I guess we'll touch on the Tigers.
You tip them?
Lay off the Panadol. I'm telling you, lay off the Panadol.
Makes it crazy.
Mate, I couldn't believe it. 66 points.
Mate, could have been 100. The way they were scoring tries could have been 100.
You know,
I think they're just trying to save their ground.
Maybe, yeah. But
Seriously.
that's must be frustrating for Tigers fans. Like, I know, like they weren't, destined for top 4 or anything like that, but they're not performing well. And I know as the Cowboys just must be struggling, fuck. But to put a performance like that, especially at their ground for the fans must be like, come on, we need that a bit more week to week,
Yeah, and look, I think their big guns are starting to fire, like Appy. John Bateman played well. Mate, that front rower that's now 19th man, Stefano Utakamanu, mate.
He come from Para, fuck me.
Did he really?
Yeah, we let him go because,
Of course you did.
Let him go just because.
I don't even know fucking why.
But mate, he ran off the back fence and just good luck to him, right? Their fullback, mate, fair income. The bloke is just coming to first grade like he's played 50 first grade games. We said on this podcast, we did say they may never win a game, and they've just come and dusted it. They've beaten Penrith.
Mock said it. Mock said it.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. Oh, who knows? Probably. Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah,
and how do the Sea Eagles in Canberra at -2 degrees win by 30 points, 42-14? After how bad they've been and how good Canberra have been.
Well,
I don't.
Yeah.
Look at this smug face. Look at the smug look on that twat.
I disagree with your comments, mate. I don't think Canberra's been that good. Manly we're always going to win.
You think about it, the way you're chatting, right?
Mate.
We need to go on the tipping scores at the moment because you need
I'm
to actually.
I'm on a fight back, mate. Don't you worry about
Mate, you're too far. You must queue in the rack, mate. You got no chance. But the way you're chirping, I tell you.
Mate, just let him continue talking. Just stop talking. Let him continue talking about it.
Nah, moving on.
The silence is deafening. You twat.
What's next, host? Come on. What's next?
So I guess going into next week, there's a lot of stars, I guess, missing from some of these games. For me, it's really Paris should win. Right, you can't lose.
Yeah.
I don't think. Warriors are pretty similar. I think they're probably certainties. And Souths, they're only lost. Like, they've got Cookie. Campbell Graham looks like he's going to play.
Cody Walker.
They got Cody Walker. They got Ilias. Like, I know they've lost Cameron Murray and Latrell, but against the Raiders after what they dished up. And look, the Knights probably dust the Sea Eagles pretty easily as well.
Yeah.
Cherry Evans, Turbo.
Yeah.
Jake Turbo out.
Well, Dolphins. So Dragons. Dolphins. They should pants bloody Dragons, shouldn't they? I mean, they're nothing without Hunt.
Yeah.
Ben Hunt.
Yeah. Yep.
Come on, Oracle.
Maybe.
Tip us. What's your tip this week, Oracle?
I'll be going Dragons. Dolphins without the hammer. Hammer's been their best player for me. So
and Kafusi's out, isn't he?
and Kafusi, yeah. So what are they paying? $2.60. Yeah, money there, lads. Get on them.
Listen to you. Fair
13
dinkum.
plus.
No, I wouldn't go that far. Anyway, Penrith with a bye. That's a bit. Is that
Hey,
scripted or what?
Yeah, most likely. Let's just look after him.
Yeah.
Hey, just a quick one, just backing on the Tigers over the Cowboys. Is that the Cowboys to date? Surely Todd Payton's got some pressure now.
Yeah.
Have to, surely. Like the
I think
way
so.
they are not performing anywhere near. Especially last year, they were tipped to pretty much go all the way. They got beaten by us in the prelim, but they haven't really lost too many players, and everyone thought that would be, similar vibe coming in this year. But
Well, at least you'd think top 4, but I think Hedo had them as premiership favourites at the start of the season. But yeah, you're right, mate. It's I think they're in serious trouble, mate. Serious trouble. And I mean, what do you do? Who does it come down to at the end?
Well, look, yeah, you'd have to. I suppose if they don't, like, where are they sitting now? Like, they are, they're 14th.
Yeah.
If they don't, I think it's a failure if they don't make the final. So it'd be interesting to see what they do here.
Absolutely, mate. And dare say they will lose to Para this week. And then rolling into the following week, they've got the Storm. So
yeah,
they could have their pants pulled down pretty badly.
So, well, with the soccer, it's
Mate,
heating up there, eh?
It is. So I'll get started on the EPL. Now, I did drop our friend last week. I dropped his name in the potty. He's
Lukey.
Yeah, old Lukey, mate. He's a bit hurt. He did know that obviously his season's gone for Arsenal, but they literally handed the premiership over the weekend to Man City. I would have liked to see Man City fight for it, but no, they lost to Nottingham Forest. They lost to Nottingham Forest 1-0, which is Nottingham Forest are the team that I did say that would escape relegation. They're currently still alive.
So that's obviously a massive upset, Nottingham Forest over.
Huge. And it was, I think it was at the Emirates. I think it was at Arsenal's home ground as well. So yeah, it's a piss poor effort from Arsenal. And obviously that handing the premiership to Man City. So it's a long. I don't. Obviously, that hurts their confidence big time. They're obviously a gun side, but mate, there's a stat that I read with Arsenal. They led the comp at the top for 248 days straight.
Fuck. Is it?
That's almost a year.
That has to be the most in the history, isn't it?
It is, mate.
And that's before and not winning it. Is that right?
Correct. So so there's been 7 teams listed in the top 7 teams at days at the top without winning a Premier League, and Arsenal are in the top 7 4 times. And obviously the most recent one is Arsenal at 248 days this last season. So
it's definitely Man City's. They can't lose it now. Or
they've already had the trophy celebration overnight.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
Yeah, so the Man City are on the way for a treble. They've won the Premier League. They're still in the fight with the Champions League. They beat Real Madrid, so they are through to the final against Inter Milan.
When does that happen?
Oh, that is quite soon. They're also in the FA Cup final as well. So,
Oh, Jesus.
and that's against my team, United. So, I'm hoping Manchester United
Dust them.
well, at least stop them from winning the treble. That's a win for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and the relegation.
relegation.
Is that been sorted now, or
almost? It's there's one game left. We've got well, mate, Nottingham Forest. They're safe, right? Called that, by the way. I did call that. Everton are 2 points in the clear. They've got one game left against Bournemouth at home on Monday. Now, if they pick up a point, they pretty much win. Leicester's got one game left against West Ham at home. So Leicester needs to win. They'll be safe. Everton get a point. They'll be safe. Leeds, oh mate, even if Leeds win, mate, this is full on. It all comes down to the last game. It could be anyone. Southampton are gone. Leeds can still go. Leicester can still go. Everton can still go. It all depends on the results this weekend. So, yeah,
interesting.
A lot going on, mate. A lot going on. So, anyway, how's
AFL?
AFL?
Mate, some couple of big things happened today. So Damien Hardwick, coach of Richmond, just stood down today. Surprisingly, there was rumours going on yesterday that he was going to.
Is that just results driven?
Yeah, I think so. I think that starting this year off, Richmond were, they weren't flag favourites, but they were still pegged to kind of be up there. And they probably haven't gone as well as people would have thought. They're not shit, but they aren't going up. They are kind of coming down.
Yeah.
So, they lost by 1 point to Essendon on the weekend. And I don't know, I get that vibe of he probably wants to get out before he's pushed out, I suppose. Like you see the writing on the wall,
Yeah.
And look, he deserves to go out. Like he's won 2 premierships as a player and three premierships as a coach at Richmond. So
yeah,
he won the 2 premierships at Essendon and Port. But to do what they did, I know they had a little snippet on the news that back in 2010, Brendan Gale, who's the CEO of Richmond, boldly said by the end of 2020, so a 10-year period, they're going to win 3 flags. And everyone's like, fuck, you're talking out your ass. But they did it. So, look, he deserves it all. But it's probably good for you. They probably just need to move on now. And a lot of their old players like Jack Rewalt, Cochin and Martin again, getting on, and they're all going to move on. So, end of an era, I suppose. But, yeah, it would – big surprise.
Massive. Massive. And another one in the mix there is the D's going down to Port Adelaide.
Yeah. Yeah, that like I did say that Port would beat him. But yeah, it's a fight by 4 points, I'm pretty sure. And
am I back?
Hi Matt.
It was just good to see.
Okay?
I froze.
He's back. He's joining us. You the shitter, did you? Or?
Did you go for a kebab?
I think we're still recording too, so this will be fun.
Yeah.
It just froze. I couldn't do anything.
Well, you're interrupting our conversation, mate.
You shit the bed, mate. Anyway.
I wish. I've got to do a shit too, so let's finish this.
Thanks for interrupting. But, here, before we were just talking about Port getting over the Demons, and we talked...
Sorry, viewers, we're back on the AFL. Yeah, welcome.
We just spoke about Damien Hardwick stepping down to Richmond, but... Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. But, yeah, look, as we said before, Port are showing that they are serious contenders now, and, yeah, one to watch. But one of the biggest talking points this week was actually quite funny, was the Swans beating North via interchange fucking mistake. Right at there's a minute and a half to go. North can't take a trick, mate. I tell you.
So can you talk the viewers through, JB?
And me,
They get
I'm unaware of that, mate.
okay.
so
So
75 interchanges you're allowed for the game. Is that right?
that's right. So 75 interchanges. That's the ruling. You can't go over. They brought that in maybe 5 years ago. It was to do I don't know what to do with maybe I don't know trying to slow the game down a bit. I'm not too sure, but anyway, so yeah, with about a minute and a half to go, there's vision. There's two players come off, 2 went on. You know, when they should have only had that one interchange, and yeah, they put him over to 76. And then there's a bit of conjecture at the moment, like they're saying, well, they didn't notify him. They knew about it for a couple of minutes, but they didn't say anything and all this bullshit. But anyway, they've just basically radioed out to the lead umpire and said, yep, 76, which is a free kick and 50-metre penalty. But, you know, they were at the top of the square anyway. So that was the goal and that was it.
So, and continuing the explanation, the free kick's paid from when the umpire receives
So when they
notification,
receive,
is that right?
when they receive notification to say there's been an interchange infringement, he blows his whistle, gives it to Sydney, and then from that point, it's a 50-metre penalty as well.
Yes, so that's why it was in the goal right in front.
When they got the notification, it was in the forward pocket anyway, so they just take him to the square and kicks the goal, and that was it.
All right.
But yeah,
now I don't know how much I missed with you lads, but JB, can I ask?
Yeah.
Has Bailey Smith turned his season around for the Dogs?
Yeah. He was a bit.
And is he now back into elite status?
I think he'd need to, continue this form. He's where he should be, to be honest. He kind of brought a lot of eyes to him last season, and he hasn't fulfilled that. So, but no, he's where he should be right now. He's going to be a gun.
And have the Dogs turned their season around?
I think that they've found their rhythm, I suppose. Like similar to Bailey Smith, I suppose, that they're now where everyone's expecting them to be. But again, Adelaide are a bit up and down. But yeah, maybe they have. Maybe they have. Yeah.
All right. Again, tell me if we've spoken about it, and apologies to the viewers for my laptop having an absolute mare. But with Brayshaw from Freo, looks like he's playing injury free. Is he the one reason their season's turning around?
No, I wouldn't say the one reason, but
him and Caleb. Well, I'll throw Caleb Sarong in there as well. Then,
yeah, yep. They make a massive difference, and that Jager O'Meara as well. Like Jager O'Meara he's never really quite lived up to the expectation he got when he first came into the league through Gold Coast, but he looks like he's at home now. So look, they're starting to look all right. It's handy having Nat Fyfe back. I mean, he hasn't really got to his full potential yet, but it all depends on his age and his body if it comes through. But yeah, no, you're right. Brayshaw and Sarong there, they're pretty good.
You spoke about Dimmer, and obviously him leaving. They got done by a point. Are Essendon where they should be?
Oh yeah, Essendon are just mid pack, and they'll stay that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, and forgive me for how he's have chatted. What does Dimmer do? Does he coach again?
I think you find that he will. Yeah. I think
does he take a GWS, a West Coast, or a Gold Coast?
No.
AFL appointed?
Look, I think I see him coaching next year. I think it'd be a year off or so, but he's like pretty much like a Clarkson now. He can just write his own check, So whoever comes knocking, he'll come back. Yeah, he'll definitely coach again. I just think that we spoke about it just before quickly that
Yeah.
it's a result-driven type thing. Like I think he realizes, especially after the weekend, that they're not contenders, and they are going down if they're not going up, I suppose. And
the group needs another voice.
Yeah, I just think it's the end of an era. Like he wanted to go out in his own terms, and he's seen that as now.
Yeah.
And look, he deserves that. Like, yeah. So, no, good on him.
Now, Oracle, are you still with us?
Yeah, mate, I'm here.
Talk me through the Hawthorn West Coast game.
Oh, Hawthorn popped them, didn't they?
Who'd you tip?
Yeah, West Coast. Are you back on the podcast, are you? Oh, welcome.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that. Listeners or listener viewers, I can't see you two on my screen now. So I have no idea of what's happening. I thought you were taking the piss and turning me off, but yeah, talk us through the game, mate. You've spoken up and tipped well all week, and thrown tips around. So talk me through why you tipped West Coast,
mate. Two shit teams. Oh, yeah, mate.
Flip the coin.
Flip the coin, mate. Flip the coin. I wasn't expecting a result like that. Jesus Christ, over 100 points against them.
But I don't think anyone was, but sucked in. You tipped the wrong team. That's all I wanted to ask about. I don't give a shit about the game. I just wanted to know how good you are at tipping. That's all.
Oh, I'm all right everywhere else but AFL. You know that.
Hey, and just while we're on the AFL still, obviously last week the AFL locked in the 2:30 grand final time. Now, I mean, you know, I've always grown up having it in the afternoon, and I know the NRL is quite different at night. Would you want to see a day NRL game or
100%?
Yeah.
But I'll ask you two. You went last year. Talk me through it.
Yeah, see the night. It's funny.
Well, I couldn't have taken my kids at their age to last year's grand final.
Nah, you're right.
I could have, yes. 100% I could have, but they would have been nightmares for the next 3 days because we wouldn't have got home. What time do you get home?
Oh, bloody hell. It was hard to even get. Remember, it took us so long to get a freaking cab, and we just blew them with everyone. But anyway,
it
took us a while. Yeah.
10 at best.
Yeah, I think it's a family event during the day, you know, as you said.
It's got to be daytime, man. Got to be daytime.
Even 5:30 for me. 5:30 still works if they want that, you know.
There was a lot of waiting around though for a night grand final, but yeah, I'm happy with the AFL locking that in, so that was good.
Yeah, mate, I totally agree, and I think the NRL and I understand the Channel 9 and Fox, whoever pays for it and pay massive dollars for it, but fuck, I'm with you. Now, what's doing, and young, and we don't get it much up here, but it has been a bit of chat. What's doing at Carlton? Like we called it on here 2 weeks ago that it was a massive month for them, along with Para. We put them both in the same thing. But Carlton don't look like winning a game, JB, and it seems like the heat's on.
Yeah, well, it's the
heat's on Vossi, the heat's on the players, the heat's on everyone in the club.
Yeah, the grey clouds are circling over Vossi's head at the moment because Carlton have done the boards, you know, the board's 100% behind him, and
come out and supported him.
Yeah, so usually when that happens, he's got 2 weeks left and he gets the flick. So, yeah, look, rightly so, I think. Like they've got the cattle there, and to be better than they are, be more consistent than they are. And look, we talked about a little bit last week. I think about, you know, Vossi might just not be. I don't know. He didn't do very well in Brisbane. Yeah, I think
maybe he's a good assistant coach. Trent Barrett, like he's the same. He could be a gun assistant.
Yep. Yeah. But no, I think you'll find that if they keep the way they're going, I think they'll be looking for someone else as well.
All right. So if they lose on the weekend, is his job proper under pressure?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean Sydney aren't playing great football. You know, they'll
Sydney
go
aren't
in.
going, mate. Sydney aren't going at
They're,
all.
well, they're going in at the moment as favourites. Carlton are. So if they get pumped, then yeah, definitely there'll be questions getting asked. I think you'll find the board won't be supporting him fully.
Yep. And nothing changes around Collingwood and Nick Dacos. Is he
Oh, he
into a
nearly
bit
got.
of trouble for that jumper punch?
No, he's been cleared. He's been offered a
He
$2,000
has?
fine.
Okay.
So yeah, look, there was nothing in there. It's just there was nothing, little pussy little punch. But yeah, look, it does show that they are niggling him. They are getting into his head a little bit. But yeah, he'll be right. Just
Well,
give it a Brownlow now, I
he
reckon.
only had a few touches, 41. So he's not doing. He's not scared of the ball.
No.
So I guess we say that the Swans Carlton game's massive in the scheme of media for next week.
Yeah, definitely. I think there'll be a lot of heat on that.
So is it heat on both teams, but lads? Is it heat on if Sydney or has Sydney got an excuse with injuries?
100%.
And I know they do, but is it an excuse now?
Now, I think Sydney they can use injuries. And they had a good year last year, so yeah, I think that they'll be pressure just on Carlton, really, which it might help Sydney, to be honest.
Yeah, I and that's sort of where I was leaning too, because Sydney can blame injuries and batten down the hatches and go, we're not going to win, not going to win. It's
Come out
probably a
firing.
danger game for Carlton.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It is definitely. This is like you could almost kiss it goodbye if they get pumped. It'd be hard for the motivation to get up and going again, especially with all the pressure on the coach.
Well, then they come in and play Melbourne the following week on Friday night at the MCG. So, like, it doesn't get much easier for Paul Carlton and Vossi, but yeah, it's a big game Friday night.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, boys. Well, I'm glad I'm back.
We've touched, we touched on the APL. We went through the APL.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, giving it to Arsenal for handing the title to City without them having a fight for it.
How long do they want to spend on top? Fair income.
Yeah, went through that over almost a year.
Was it 240?
270 something days, maybe. I don't know, mate. Who cares? They're shit.
Now, JB, it was a great chat in our group chat last week. The Luton Town ground. Can you paint people a picture? Can you paint people a picture?
So I know you guys are trying to tell me,
for everyone that understands, JB's never seen it, so we sent it in the group chat, and I've never seen the response. It's not a football ground, is it?
So you guys spoke about it and how they're a small city, small town, so it's big for them. And I couldn't really get my head around it. So I sent a photo, and it looks. There's no room for parking. It's just houses. There's a ground in the middle of a town. There's houses all around it. I understand how you can even fit it there, but yeah, there's no parking, so I don't know. Yeah, unbelievable.
They're gonna have to build on top, mate.
Yeah,
they'll have to do something.
Look, I'm not sure they'll be allowed to play there, but they are going to go. They will give it a shake. Don't get me wrong. The Luton Coventry game will be massive.
28th of May, grand final. So that's huge.
Well, we said £100 million game.
Yeah. Massive.
Nice.
It does so much.
Did you touch on relegation then as well? Yeah.
I did. Basically, it's all coming down to that last game, Hedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you touch on any of the A-League? And
no.
I know you don't. I know you don't. And you're a fucking come on, stick with me. Come on.
What channel is it on?
Oh, shut up.
It's not on.
Me. It's not on. And look, I know it's a massive issue, but the Mariners, I want to give them a rap. They and Nick Montgomery a rap. They are the lowest budget in the league, are going against the oil cash of the City Group, right? So Melbourne City shouldn't lose. It's David versus Goliath. Listen to me. What other puns can I throw out? Fair income. But the Mariners deserve their crack, right? They had 21,000 at their stay in then I can't remember what it's called now, Industry Super Stadium or something, but it was humming, lads. It was humming. It was humming because I've seen the highlights. I haven't even couldn't even get the game live because I couldn't get it up. But
Couldn't and
4-1 semi-final. Couple of weeks off going into a grand final. So
yeah, no, credit's where credit's due, mate.
Yeah, good chat. Fuck, we need to get up and about for that game. We need more. We need something. Come on,
It's
Channel
hard,
10.
it's
Give us,
hard.
give us something.
Yeah, give me something. What am I
I'm
going?
asking Channel 10. We might have to get someone from Channel 10 on.
Google? What do I need to Google?
There. Come on, Channel 10. I know you listen. Fair income. Just jump on, will ya? All right, so it's my multi.
Yeah,
Yep.
all right. How'd you go?
What
Did you
have
get
you
it?
got?
You sorted it out, or
Well,
come on, we need something. Fuck, surely we can get one before the halfway point of the year. And hopeless.
we need something because there's a lot of poor people out there at the moment. If they're following us, we're not even getting bonus bets back. Or did you go close last week in the end?
Yeah, I had 3 out of 4. I just had Dylan Edwards to score, and he didn't. But
all right. Well, I've gone.
fuck.
Paying $81. It's paying $81.
Fucking hell.
Who have you got? Arsenal to win, have you?
I've got Arsenal to spend more days on top next year.
Yeah. That'd be $1. Mate.
That'd be $1. You're right, Scott. That'd be $1.10.
Yeah.
They don't even write markets for that because it's just a guarantee. I've gone Para, North Queensland game, Mitchell Moses anytime try scorer.
Yep.
Okay.
New Zealand Warriors versus Brisbane Broncos, Sean Johnson anytime try scorer.
All right, yeah.
South Sydney versus Canberra, Damien Cook anytime try scorer.
South Sydney and who?
Canberra.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Cookie's going to have to do a lot of running.
Yeah, it's the Sean Johnson one for me. A bit, but so there you go.
Well,
I believe in you. I'll be throwing money on it.
if you put 100 on it, you get $8,190 back. So
we'll be going big night.
We'll be going straight to kittens. We'll be going
and then we'll go to Sizzler. Fuck me.
Sizzler. So look, I went through it. I'll be putting some cash on it. So take it or leave it. Gamble responsibly.
Definitely.
Please.
Definitely.
Now, the highlight of the week, it's getting the most views on all our social media. It's just like, it's the mock. He hasn't mocked his own joke. He's been good every week. We haven't had a failure. It's time for JB's joke of the week.
All right.
Here we go.
If he starts sucking his thumb, it's all over.
Every time it comes up, I just think of Mox mowing. I don't know why.
Look, it's not brought to you by Mox Mowing. It's brought to you by Whittlesea Mowing.
Oh, all right.
You garden like Garden Lord and Care needs in northern suburbs of Melbourne. I'll give you a chop out. All right. So I think where we can relate to this at some point of our lives, boys. So a man went out with the boys. He told his wife he'd be home by midnight. At around 3 a.m., drunk as a skunk, he headed home. Just as he got to the door, the cuckoo clock in the hall started up and cuckooed 3 times. Quickly, he realised she'd probably wake up, so he cuckooed another 9 times. He was really proud of himself, having a quick, witty solution, even when he was smashed, to escape any possible conflict. The next morning, his wife asked him, "What time did you get in?" "Oh yeah, 12 o'clock, hon, 12 o'clock. She didn't even seem that fast. But then she proceeded to say, "Oh yeah, by the way, we need a new cuckoo clock." And he's like, "Why? What's wrong with the one we've got?" He goes, "Well, it cuckooed 3 times. Then it said, 'Oh, fuck.' And it cuckooed 4 times. And then it cleared its throat. And then it cuckooed 3 times. Then it giggled. And it cuckooed another 2 more times. Then it farted."
Very, very good.
Well,
Yeah, that's
that was
good.
pretty relatable. Like we've all been there to some extent.
Yeah, very good.
Very good. Very good.
But that's
Um,
that's fantastic, JB.
well done.
That's gold.
That again will be all over social media and our most clicked video. So he's going viral. The mock, even though it's JB's joke of the week, it's brought to you by the mock, and
Yeah.
he'll be continuing on each week. So, boys, again, apologies for the technical issues on my end this week. Hopefully, it doesn't affect what you're hearing or seeing. But, boys, anything else to add?
No, well, it should be good, and hopefully we might get on before the Blues game. But
Yeah,
yeah, look, go the Blues and fuck the Maroons.
that's it.
Fucking oath. All right, gents.
All right. See you, boys.
All right.
Have a good week.
Cheers,
Thanks,
mate.
guys.
Take care.
Remember
See
to
ya.
like and subscribe.